and now he's peeing everywhere.
Right.
And so he takes these socks that he just bought.
Right.
Okay, this is where it gets really funny.
Okay.
He takes these white socks that he had just bought in Europe.
Right.
And he starts cleaning up the pee with them.
Right.
And then he throws it out the window. Okay, so he throws all these socks out the window thinking nobody's going to find them.
Okay.
And we're leaving in the morning.
Right.
I'm good. The next day they go to get on the bus to go to the airport.
Right.
And the owner of the house, the promoter, the millionaire guy, comes up to him with a bag and says, "Hey, I cleaned your socks. Here they are for you." And he gives them to him.
Oh, come on, man.
And Joe is so embarrassed, and he just gets on the bus and is like, doesn't say another word.
Oh.
And if you know Joe Lestay, for him to not say another word.
Yeah, that's something. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I wasn't ready for that.
That's awesome.
Dude, that is so good, man.
I'll tell you what, though, dude. He is a great guy.
Sure.
And he's been so awesome to me at different times.
Right.
And, and Beautiful Creatures is one of the most underrated bands
I love them,
of
dude.
all time, right?
Dude, both records great.
Fuck yes, they are.
Dude, I'll tell you, we brought him in when I was on WMMS on the metal show.
Yeah.
We brought Beautiful Creatures into the what is it, Mike Brown's studio. What is that? The Lava Room.
Yeah, and
that's
Billy's
Yeah,
studio.
Billy's.
Yeah.
It was, well, Billy was working there at the time.
Yeah.
And we had them come in and play like a 5-song set for like 10 people.
Do you have that?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay. I would love to hear that.
I'll send it to you.
Dude, that's awesome.
It's like 4 tunes that's just them just jamming it out, and then Highway to Hell, AC/DC.
Oh, my God. Well, you know what? We played, the first time I played with them, I did an AC/DC song. It was Highway to Hell.
Right.
Okay, and Joe introduces the song and says, I wrote the song back in 1968.
Right.
And it was before I was in AC/DC.
Nice.
And then we played the song, and I'm like, that is like the best introduction ever, man. But, dude, Beautiful Creatures had everything that you want in a real rock and roll band. They had great vocals. They had amazing guitar. Their drummer was badass, and their bass player was, I mean, they were awesome.
And they had a guy in the band that knew how to produce, too, so he knew the fucking sound. Foggy's a great goddamn
And
producer.
then they went on tour with Kiss.
Yeah.
So how do you blow that?
Well, and they also were on the Ozfest.
I mean, how do you blow that?
I don't think it wasn't them.
It was just the time, right?
It wasn't them. It was that, you know, the unfortunate thing, and I always hate it, is no matter what, if you were in a band in the 80s, unless you're Godsmack, you can't fucking, you're considered an old band.
Right?
You're considered, you know, I'm surprised that Godsmack doesn't get more shit about Shannon Larkin.
Right.
Because
he was in, what was the
Wrathchild
band?
And Ugly Kid Joe.
Yeah.
You
Ugly
know,
Kid Joe.
But I mean,
greatest name ever come off of Pretty Boy Floyd.
Oh, I know. It's so. but I mean, that's the sad truth of it.
You're right.
Is if you think about it, anybody that had any amount of success at all in the 80s, you know, a lot of them have made great music past the 80s, and not necessarily stuff that sounds like 1986.
Well, you know who the other guy that came out of that without getting affected was Butch Walker, right?
Yeah, but Butch was never so big that.
But the one he didn't have a good 80s band.
But Butch is such a goddamn talented writer.
He's the man.
You know, Butch. You know, dude, it's like a guy I know, Davey Vane.
Yeah.
Davey did not have the success as a musician,
right?
But then he wrote a bunch of tunes for Christina Aguilera and made a bunch of money.
Yeah, right.
And it's like the same songs. They just took the guitar out of it and put a keyboard or a, you know, whatever, a sample or whatever underneath it. It's
Beautiful Creatures should have been
one
of the biggest bands. Yeah, they should have been.
They should have been,
because they're as good as 6 a.m. and I love 6 a.m.
Sure,
but they were that good.
Yeah, I think they were better than 6 a.m.
Yeah.
6 a.m. had a couple of good songs.
Yeah,
but they also had a lot of Nicky experimentation,
and they had Nicky.
Yeah, well, and that was,
but I love 6 a.m.
But
Don't get me wrong, I love 6 a.m.
Let's be honest, we can even point to 6 a.m.
because DJ Ashba's in that band.
Well, but I mean, Nicky's one of the biggest stars in the history of music, and let's be honest, he has 5 different bands after or during Motley Crue that didn't do shit. 58,
58, and that was a good album.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah,
but
the first 2 songs were good.
But the 6 a.m. didn't really blow up for him. I mean, it had Life Is Beautiful, which is a nice hit, but
I mean, they've done okay.
However,
I'm gonna go now that you mentioned it. Motley Crue should be in the fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And how are they not?
Well, they should, but at the very same time, Vince Neil should retire.
Well,
so horrible now.
Okay, Vince Neil is done. I'm not talking about him as an individual because That guy is ridiculous right now. However, the Motley Crue, if you take the first 6 albums of Motley Crue, how is Green Day in the Hall of Fame and Motley Crue's not?
Simple, because Rolling Stone votes.
Right, exactly.
You know, Rolling Stone votes, not Jerry Miller.
I have a friend who works at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we have this fight all the time.
Sure.
And she's awesome, but it's like Motley Crue, God, they should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And I'll be the first one to say, I'm not a huge fan of Motley. I mean, my favorite album by them is Corabi.
Dude, I'm the biggest Motley Crue fan of all time.
Right.
John Corabi, the Motley Crue album is their best album.
It's their best.
But nobody cares.
Yeah, no one wants to hear it.
And I also have some great John Corabi stories because him and I are good buddies. But him and I, the first time we hung out at Rippers, the Tap House. Him and I, he comes up to me, and I was the manager and the bartender that night. And he says, hey, I want some Patron. So him and I start drinking shots of Patron. And he says, do we have to go back and get the bottle and get shots every time? So I'm like, nope, I'm back here. I walk back, opened the box, pulled out Patron. Him and I and our friend Kim went out on the back deck and started drinking out of the bottle.
Right.
And the stories we heard.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, dude, he has such good stories.
Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx sober on the Motley Crue tour? No. Tommy Lee getting drug out of the bar because he overdosed on heroin. Nikki Sixx drank so much wine that he passed out and they're dragging him out.
Right.
He was telling us all these stories. It was, dude, I don't get to hang out with rock like legends like John Corabi very often.
Right.
It was one of the greatest nights. And then a couple weeks later, my son and I were sitting there and we're watching a Union DVD.
Right.
And I go, hey, I'm friends with that guy. And my son goes, yeah, right. I go, hold on a second. And I call or I text John Corabi, and I go, hey, my son doesn't think you and I are friends. And he sends back, he knew my son's name, and he goes, hey, tell Colton that he's wrong. And my son thinks I'm the greatest guy ever.
That's all.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Dude, it's so funny. I write books on the side. And
I know you do. I've read some.
The newest one that I wrote is Cause and Effect Motley Crue, which is about the 94 album.
I got to read that.
And I interviewed Corabi for Dead Daisies, I don't know, 2 months ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Dead Daisies are a badass
band. It's a great band.
Yeah.
But so I'm interviewing him, and at the end of the interview, after we were done, I said, hey, I would really like to come out to a show and just take a picture of you with the book. And he's like, what book? And I was like, dude, I've talked to you about it. I talked to fucking Ian. I talked to his son, Ian.
He didn't even remember?
He just, he's, you know how he is.
Yeah.
It's in his mind.
There's so much stuff going on in his world. Yeah.
It's in his mind till it's not.
Yeah.
So I told him who I was, and I said, yeah, this is what the thing is. And he goes, dude, I've had 15 people at 15 shows show up with this fucking book. What is this book? And I was like, dude, I'll send you it. I already told you about it, but I'll send it to you.
Right.
So I sent it to his wife or his girlfriend's hair salon, and he hits me back with just a one-word text. Cool.
Nice.
Nice. I was like, okay.
Well, you and I talked earlier that the last time we saw each other was at Ripper's Rock House.
Right.
With the night that we opened up, LA Knights opened up for John Corabi. And it was the coolest thing ever is that I was there playing open up for John Corabi, who's one of my favorite musicians, favorite singers of all time.
Right.
Probably top 5. He is top 5 singers in my life. And I tried to not be the fanboy.
Right, exactly.
And so at the end of the night, we got done playing. John Corabi got done playing. And I'm sitting at the bar with some girl hanging out. And his wife comes over to me and goes, Jozey, are you Jozey? And I'll go, yeah. And she goes, why are you not talking to John? And I'm like, what do you say to that? I'm like, I don't know. I just didn't want to bug him and be like that guy. And she goes, he wants you to come over. So I went over and started hanging out with him. Next thing you know, we're doing shots.
Of course.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, it's awesome, but I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah. Well, dude, and it's funny because I've met a million rock stars.
Right.
And Corabi is right there with a very short few that is still just a guy.
Yeah, he's a dude.
He's always been a dude. He was a dude when he was in Union.
He's the most handsome dude. He's the most, he's the most talented dude.
Right.
But he's a dude.
He
just wants to kick it with you. Yeah. And him and I ended up doing shots of Patron, and he was like, "That's all I want." Dude, why didn't you come talk to me? And I'm like, I don't want to bug you because you're with, you got a million people here.
Exactly.
And,
Dude, when he was playing, he played a acoustic gig at Beachland, I think it was.
Yeah.
And everybody's there to see him. He walks in and just sits down at the bar and is just drinking drinks. Yeah. Everybody's like, hey, can I take a picture? Can I take and at first he was nice about it, and then he wasn't not nice about it, but then he's like, I'll take a picture if you buy me a shot.
If you buy me a shot.
And it was like, so now he's got like 15 shots lined up.
Yeah.
And then he goes on and just kills it for 2 fucking hours. He's such a pro.
When he played at Rippers, the first Rippers, when I was the manager there was a girl that came from fucking California, flew all the way in from California.
Right.
And hung out with us the whole night, okay?
Right.
And I will tell you stories about her.
Yeah.
Because I woke up with her head in my lap in the back seat of a car that day.
Right.
And John Corabi texted me like, "Did you nail her?" Like that was the way John was. That, you know what I mean?
Right.
But people came to see him, and all they cared about was like, I got to fucking hang out with John Corabi. We got to chill. We got to drink.
Well,
and dude, he played some songs that night that I'm not gonna lie. What is it? Mother, sister, mother, brother.
Yeah, mother,
dude,
father, son.
Every time I hear that song, I fucking cry.
Yeah, it's a soft song,
like
dude.
goosebumps and tears.
Hell
and
yeah.
that night, it was the same thing. And dude, to hang out with a guy like that afterwards.
Hell
yeah.
No doubt, dude. Well, dude, I think they're getting ready to go on stage, man. Good hanging with you as
thank
always,
you for having
dude.
us up here.
It's
LA Nights. LA Nights.
Where's the web?
We're on Facebook. LA Nights on Facebook. We've got songs on there. We've got everything.
All right, well, go look them up. Google them. And watch the video because the video is fucking really good, too.
The videos are good. We have them on YouTube.
Yeah, so
Chris is the man.
So go check it out. And I'm going to throw it to the stage because I don't know if they're getting ready to or not, but I'm just going to leave it run so that we catch Neely's big intro. Thanks, dude.
Thank you so much, man. That was fucking... Oh.